That week, everything changed for me. I know I wanted to help people. I knew those things. I just didn't know how. And being a kids pastor, put all those things together.
I think a lot of kids pastors, especially if they're kind of at a church, maybe like where you started,
Yeah.
or they're at a church that doesn't have multi-site or all this. He doesn't understand like my problems.
Yeah.
So what do you think those misconceptions can be sometimes?
I reflected back to a conversation I had with the kids pastor, and we were just engaging in a conversation. And they're from a small church in Alabama. And I said, "Do you mind if I just ask you a question?" She's like, "Sure." And I said, "Do you do small group model at your church?" And she goes, "Yeah, okay, so do we." And then she asked me the question, "Where are you at?" I was like, "I'm from Oklahoma City. It's at Life.Church." And then immediately I could see her countenance change. And she goes, "Oh, I can't learn from you, and you can't learn from me."
Hey everyone, welcome to the Amazing Kidmin podcast, where we talk to amazing people who are doing amazing things in the Kidmin world. And today I'm very excited because we have an amazing guest who has done and is continuing to do amazing things in the Kidmin space. So please give a warm, amazing welcome to Justin Ed. Hey Justin.
Hi, Tyler. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Dude, thanks for coming.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
So just a quick background for some people. Right now you serve as the kids pastor at Life.Church.
Yes.
And you're in Oklahoma.
Yep.
Oklahoma City. Yep.
Yep.
And you're essentially the one who, like, you're the hub. You're the guy who is making sure that everybody is aligned, ready to go, and leading the charge on kids ministry for Life.Church.
Yep.
I say this a lot to a lot of people, but not a lot of guys grow up, or girls grow up being like, "Man, I'm going to be a kids pastor."
Oh, yeah.
And
They'd be there.
yeah. But you find yourself in a place where you're doing it, and it's like, oh, I can't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah.
How did you get into kids ministry?
Man, it all started, honestly, when it didn't start with kids, it started with youth.
Huh.
Yeah. So
That is a backwards progression, just
Yes.
for most stories.
yeah. I started off with youth. Yeah. I graduated high school, became a believer of my senior year of high school. Went to college, started volunteering in our youth ministries at different churches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I really just enjoyed it. I knew I wanted to be a part of youth. I wanted to be a part of the church. I wanted to be a part of it. But then an opportunity, it all happens when someone knocks on your door for you. It says, "Hey, Justin, we're doing a kids camp. We're going to go to a kids camp. Would you and your wife be interested in going to this kids camp?" And I was like, "I'm not sure." And I said, "Hey, we'll pay for your week."
Oh, this like, now I'm interested.
Yes, I'm interested. But what was really interesting is that week, everything changed for me. Everything changed for me because I realized I had I thought I was going to be like a second grade teacher. I thought I was going to be like a therapist. So I know I wanted to help people. I knew those things. I just didn't know how I was going to do that. And being a kids pastor, put all those things together because I knew I wanted to help kids fully know who Jesus is and love God and know who their identity is, even at that age. And then when I got to that kids camp, my 15, 20 kids that I had, everything shifted for me. I was like, oh, this is what God has called me to do. And so that's where it really got interesting for me because I never was looking for it. I never was looking for it, but God just revealed it to me. And I realized that's what I'm going to be doing in my life. So yeah, it started off with that.
So you had a summer camp experience, but in a very different way than what?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because the kids, they were hungry. They were eager.
Mhm.
They wanted to, they leaned in at a next level and just so pliable. Is that the
Yes,
word? Like
yeah.
they're just like hungry and excited.
Yeah. They're like my
It's-
sponges. Like
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so at that point I knew this is where I put all my energy at. This is where it's at. So yeah.
We know that kids ministry leaders are always trying to figure out how they can get the most bang for their buck when it comes to tools and curriculum. At Amazing Life, we believe the world's greatest mission deserves the world's best tools. And that's why we're constantly adding more to Amazing Plus, our complete 0 to 18 ministry strategy. Everything you need to lead the next generation, a comprehensive curriculum adapted to every age's specific development, world-class media to teach kids in engaging ways, and a custom parent app to engage families Monday through Saturday. Now, we have smart software to build your services, presentation software for every scenario, and leadership training tools, and believe it or not, so much more. You can try Amazing Plus for free for 30 days right now. Go to joinamazing.com/free trial or click the link in the description. Now, back to the podcast.
You were in kids ministry, but did you start at Life.Church, or how did you get to where you're at now?
Yeah, so I started at this church in a small town. Absolutely loved it. Church was incredible to me. But as I was there, I did that for a couple years, and that's where I learned a lot. I learned so many lessons at that point. I learned what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. I'm not good at content. I cannot write content. We have an incredible writer. You're an incredible writer. And that's just something I cannot do.
Yeah.
But whenever I was forced, not forced, that's a heavy word. When I was put in a spot where I had to do the content, I didn't have my people around me. It became challenging for me because like I love developing people, helping people. I love working with kids, but that content part I had a tough time with. And so that set in a space where I felt like I would be my very best leader I could possibly be. So I knew I needed to bring people around me, help support me, use some incredible content over time. But yeah, I started there for a while. And then got to, I don't know, just things got hard. It's a lot to talk about. Other things like got hard. My wife and I moved, and we moved up to Oklahoma City. Stepped away from kids ministry for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we stepped away because of some of the hurt that I experienced at the previous church. I didn't want to be a part of it anymore. I was like, I'm done with
So you quit. Like, you're like, hey, I just don't want to do ministry.
I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, I wanted to hide. I didn't want to be a part of church. My wife and I went to the back of the church, got in, got out, weren't caring about it. And then I had a tough time finding another job, applied, just never got anything. And then my wife looks at me and says, maybe God's just not done with you yet. Maybe God's not done with you. And I was like, okay. So I applied at Life.Church. I applied at Life.Church. I was like, I'm going to try this church out. I heard great things about it. My wife heard great things about it. Within 24 hours, got a no. They said, see you later. And I was like, all right, sorry, babe. Not supposed to be for me. And then a month later, another campus reached out and said, hey, Justin, yeah, we saw your resume. We like some interesting things. We probably don't think you're the best person for that role, but we got a spot for you on this other role. Would you be interested in? And I say, sure. So I interviewed for that role and got it. And the rest is history.
Wow.
Been a wild ride since then.
What a fun story to be able to tell people that come work with you and for you. They're like, I was turned down my first time I tried to work.
Yes.
Like, that's such a great story.
Yes. I was turned down. I walked through some hard stuff. And that's what happens, man. We're a part of the big mission, all of us. And we're going to have to walk through some heavy things, some hard things. But it's how we bounce back, how we're resilient through those hard things.
Yeah.
We really prove our character of who we are, and it shapes us. So, yeah.
Well, and it's cool. And then you've gotten to be a part of something really special that God is doing. And like Life.Church has continued just to be blessed and like gets to plant and continue to grow. And you have an incredible leader and leaders throughout your whole organization.
Yep.
And as God continues to kind of grow your footprint all around like the globe, you're still having to manage and like make sure that like the vision gets carried through. But my first question is, I think a lot of kids pastors, especially if they're kind of at a church, maybe like where you started,
Yeah.
or, they're at a church that doesn't have multi-site or all this, they can like, hear like, oh, he's from my church.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't understand
Yeah.
like my problems.
Yeah.
So what do you think those misconceptions can be sometimes?
Yeah, I think misconceptions are we're different people.
Huh.
We're not. We're the same. We care about the same people. We have the same mission. We have the same focus. We just do it differently. Yeah, that's all. That's all. I reflect back to a conversation I had with the kids pastor, and we were just engaging in a conversation. And they're from a small church in Alabama. I hadn't revealed what I was doing yet, and so we're just having a good conversation. And then she asked me the question, "Where are you at?" I was like, "I'm from Oklahoma City." I said, "Oh, what church Oklahoma City?" "I was just a church Oklahoma City." And then I was like, it's at Life.Church. And then immediately I could see her countenance change. 100%.
Like the walls go up or
100%.
writes you off.
Yep. And she goes, oh, I can't learn from you and you can't learn from me. Just shut that down. And I was like, wait 1 second. And I said, do you mind if I just ask you a question? She's like, sure. And I said, do you do small group model at your church? And she goes, yeah, that's exactly what I do. I was like, okay, so do we. And then I said, how many kids are in your small group? In your, just give or take, on a good Sunday, I guess. And she said, about 6 or 8. And I said, that's our heart too, that every one of our kids are in the same 1 to 6, 1 to 8 small group. So you and I can 100% learn from each other because we're just doing it at different scales. But at the end of the day, it's still about that one leader leading those 6 to 8 kids to understand that they can trust that leader so they can end up trusting who God is. Yeah, how God loves now.
Yeah.
And she goes, everything just shifts. She goes, I'm so glad you shared that. Because for me, I always put large mega churches, multi-sites in churches I can't talk to. Wow. But I really can. Because it's all the same. We're all the same. Yeah, my art is to help you, support you, just as I want your heart to help support me. The things that we do differently is just like the scale of it and some of the systems that we have to put in place.
Right. Now,
That's all it is.
like, yeah.
That's all it is.
I think there's an interesting thing about you. I've said this to Beth, and I think Andy's the same way too, Andy Kirk.
Yeah.
But there's a curiosity you have. Like some people in your position would get into a role and like continue to grow the way you're growing. And they would just feel like I've arrived and I don't have anything else to learn. Like, come learn from me. Like I'm writing a book and take my master class and but you do have things to offer. But what's I think so shocking is that you're always curious of like, but what are you doing and why are you doing it that way? Is like, oh, that's really interesting. And like Beth does the same thing. I talked to her about it a couple weeks ago. Like no one like Beth is like, hey, we built this big thing. Now let's deconstruct it and build it all over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you stay curious like that?
Man, I stay curious because I know I've never arrived. I never have arrived, and I don't think I ever will arrive, and no one will ever arrive. But I want to stay curious because I'm just going to carry a posture consistently that if I can get better, then those around me can get better. If I can get better, then the leaders I lead can get better. And I have gone through it, Tyler, so many times where I have been the cap. I have been the ceiling to my ministry. And I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there again.
That's the art. Okay, so like I didn't plan on asking you this question, but that's a really big thing to say because I think there's two, like one, to have the awareness of that as a pastor or a leader of a ministry, like, oh, I'm the cap here. Like I'm the ceiling for how far this thing can go. That takes an incredible amount of awareness. But two, to take the discipline of like, okay, what am I gonna do to change that? Fix it. Which it sounds like you were like, all right, it's time for me to level up. It's time for me to.
Yeah, and I do that through accountability. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that is missing from a lot of leaders is some accountability and just some mismanaged expectations. Everything that I want to do for my boss and the people I work around, I want to open myself up to be moldable. I want to open myself up to be corrected, open myself up for feedback to get adjusted because I know the mission is way too big. The mission is way too big. And as long as there's one lost person out there that we can reach, we're going to pursue that person. Pastor Craig says this, and once again, you said it, we got great leaders around us. We do. Very thankful for that. But he says we're going to reach the world, but we're going to care for the one. Yeah. We have the ability to reach the world, we're going to care for the one. And so if I'm going to reach the world, I have to open myself up to be not the cap or to reach the world. But then at the same time, I have to stay connected to the one. And I think that's a misconception also is people like, oh, you sit on this high throne, you sit at this high level that you don't, oh, no. I literally know my family's kids. I know, not my family's kids, but like my girls as friends, my peers, friend, like I'm connected to them. And I think that's so huge. So never miss the opportunity to stay connected to the one that's around him.
I know people that have worked in the Life.Church model, the people that are in your downlines and probably not directly reporting to you, but you've really fostered an environment and a culture of people feeling safe to raise their hand of like, hey, I think I need help here, or hey, I think I'm called either growing here, or I feel like I'm being stretched. And they don't feel like they have to hide or pretend like I got it all together. Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
How did you do that for your leaders? Because it's a really healthy, like our natural tendency is to be like, no, I'm good. I've got it all together. Like, please don't like, and like, then you get insecure when your leader calls something out. Like, are you good here?
Yeah. I think if people will model or model or mirror what they see. And so I have to be that person. So I'll go to them and I apologize. Hey, just let you know, I mismanaged our calendar here. I mismanaged our time here. I don't know if I made the right call. I don't know if I brought in the right voices. Will you forgive me? Or just share those things. Because I think when you show that you're just a real person like everyone else and you make mistakes and you're working to get better, do that. And I think a big thing for leaders that I would encourage, like advertise the change. Advertise the change that you're doing.
Wow.
And so if I know I'm trying to get better, it's like, hey, Tyler, I'm going to try to get better at communication.
Yeah.
So this is the thing I'm going to be working towards. Can you help me get better at communication? And then I'm now telling them, this is what I want to get better at. Then it's so much better when you open up opportunities to invite people in.
Wow.
Because going back to the story of the church that I was at, that I struggled, I didn't know how to write content. I didn't know how to lead people well. I was isolated.
Wow.
That was the root part of it. I was isolated. I was by myself, trying to show to others that I had everything undercover. I had it all taken care of. I was all good. But the reality of it was I was by myself. I was isolated.
That's actually, so this is going to be a perfect transition to what I wanted to even ask you about. You're doing this thing with Kidman Collective, like cohorts for pastors to get into. And it almost directly kind of hits on what you're talking about. Of it's not the teams in your internal space, but having a place where you have pastors who can walk alongside you, you can grow with, learn together with, but also have, because when did everybody has someone that they encounter or meet or look up to and be like, oh, like I want to be like them. I want to grow in it. So who was that for you? And when did you realize like I need to reach out to someone externally to help me grow past where I'm currently at?
My gosh, that's such a loaded question. There's so many people. There's so many people.
And we're going to clip this and send it to everyone that you didn't mention. So just like,
I'm just going to open my mouth and then you just run 75 names through and post.
It's the end of a pharmaceutical
Yes,
commercial.
that's all it is. All it is. I don't know if I can recall back to the one, but I can definitely recall back to a time where I was sitting in my position and I was like, okay, I've been doing this for a little bit now.
Yeah.
And I was still unlearning some bad habits. It's all about me.
Yeah.
And it's all about me and I have to do it myself. I've got to prove to you that, Tyler, you hired me to do this. I'm going to prove to you that you made the right hire, you know? And then it was some breaking points and struggles. I realized I got to reach out to some people. Beth Cunningham was actually someone I reached out to. Yeah. I reached out to a guy who is a lieutenant colonel in the Army.
Yeah.
Because he was a great mentor to support me.
Wow.
Mike Johnson is someone who has supported me in the past. I still do that. But I realized there are even mentors within the church that you can reach out to. Say, I'm a young leader who's trying to get better. Will you speak into my life? Wow. Just offer that up. And so it doesn't matter if they have a higher level position or a lower level position or whatever. Who do you feel comfortable with that you trust? And that's even shifted. Even now, we have a guy on our YouVersion team, David Sean, who was a part of Saddleback for many, many years with Rick Warren. And I stepped down from that post and now he's on the YouVersion team and doing incredible. I'm like, you have 30 years of ministry at that church. And now you've been at YouVersion for about a year. Doesn't matter. I can learn from you. I just want to sit and learn and asking questions and all of that. And so I think I've had mentors and leaders around my life to speak into me. But it was when I first opened up and go, I can't do this alone. I'm still trying to figure out it as myself. And I'm trying to prove to people. But just reach out to one. It doesn't have to be like this huge formal, hey, will you mentor me for 6 months? It's like, hey, can I just meet with you? I'll go ahead and buy you coffee. And I just want to ask a couple questions to help me grow. Will you do that? Yeah.
I feel like I know the answer to this, so it's maybe a comment. Have you ever turned down someone who's offered to buy you coffee?
Oh.
If you were available at the time that they were asking you to buy your
Depends on what kind of coffee it was.
Well, true.
So,
Yeah.
well, absolutely. Yeah, if we're rolling into the 7-Eleven gas station for coffee, we're walking. No, I'll never turn anyone down. I'll talk to anyone, anytime, anywhere, because I know that the conversation that you and I have, I pray that you never just take what I say and do what I say. I pray that we sharpen each other and there's something that's sparked in our conversation.
Yeah.
And from that, the Holy Spirit speaks something into your life that does for your community and your space. Because don't do what I'm doing. Do what the Holy Spirit is telling you to do in your own community.
We're just letting that sit for a second because that's so good. Like that's really good. I think I early on, like in my 20s, it was really easy for me to look at other pastors and compare myself. Before like, hey, we should do this. And and it's and I always say inspiration is amazing. Like it is good. It is good to be inspired and to like, hey, but like it wasn't until like, I think it was 26, 27 that God actually convicted me of like, hey, is that the Lord that asked you to run them?
No.
And like I was exhausted trying to, and we got to do this, and we got to do this, and we got to do. So just you're right. Like I wholeheartedly root for you because
I'll say it, and that's where that came from mistakes I made.
yeah,
Because when I stepped into my central role that I did, we had about 10, 11 campuses. And I felt like all those campuses needed to be little adjusted ministries.
wow,
And that was the hardest thing because if you were at one of my locations, it wasn't what you were doing. It was how were you doing what I wanted you to do in that space. And then I realized, oh, God didn't call me to Fort Worth. God didn't call me to Colorado Springs. God didn't call me to Wellington, Florida. God called you. So how do I remove barriers and create lanes for you to be the very, very best possible leader you can be? And the systems that we design, we want to take as much off of your plate as a kids pastor so you're freed up just to love your community the very best way you can be. And so that has been like our premise. Anytime we make a decision on our central team,
yeah,
I will always criticize, not always, I will criticize our team and my team if we make a decision that we do not have more campus voice in it than our own voice.
wow,
They have to be in it as much as we do.
wow,
Even goal setting and dreaming and all those different things. I mean, if you really want to think about your ministry, no matter what size it is, if you really want to know what your goals is for your team and your ministry, talk to 20 of your highest level leaders.
you have
Talk to 5 of your high level leaders and ask them, what are we doing right in our kids ministry? What are we doing wrong? Where are we missing the bar? Where are we kicking it? Like, and then you use that data.
those data points.
Absolutely. And you go, oh, we are doing really, really good at making sure that every kid is in a small group.
Yeah,
Let's put gas on that.
yes,
Yes. Or we are not doing good at follow up. We are seeing bad retention, or we're seeing less and less new families. Bing, that's our goal. Increase new families. Instead of just standard dash your goals and I set your goals. Instead of you just saying, hey, I think we should, like, every one of my kids' pastors, they're the ones that are setting our goals. They're the ones that setting the trends. They're the one, because they're closely, because of also giving them the opportunity to open up their hearts and minds to be focused on their team.
Yep.
So
Holy Spirit convicts, data confirms, and then collaboration helps us create what we're going to do.
Yep.
And so what you're saying is right. Like I think as the leader, we have to be able to like we probably have this gut conviction or discernment of like I think unveiling what we need to do, but like don't silo yourself.
absolutely.
Like that's brilliant. Like talk to your leaders.
Yeah, don't just sit back and go, all right, what are you going to tell me what to do? Seek the Holy Spirit, pray, seek that, because it's really fun is when you have an idea and it matches what your leaders are saying.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, all right, guys,
Yes.
we're in the right spot. Here we go. Let's go. Yeah.
I'm gonna shout this out just because I'm unapologetically gonna keep saying like for anyone that's listening, the Kidman Collective, which you're a part of,
Yeah. Yeah.
you could if you sign up, they're doing this thing right now where if you get in, you can try it for 3 weeks. They've got it's not just cohorts where you can be with people and get access to awesome kids pastors like Justin and Larry and Andre and Beth when she's not doing her million things that like she's the queen of everything.
Yeah.
Because she's so good at everything. But it's also like there's a lot of resources for volunteer trainings and volunteer development. Like it's really, really good. So you go to kidmancollective.org. I highly, highly recommend that you sign up because this is what you get access to. Is like you get have I would send him a $5 Starbucks gift card and say, can you jump on a Zoom? And like, can I buy you coffee and pick your brain for 20 minutes? So thank you so much for coming on today. Like, seriously.
Yeah, thank you.
Your practical knowledge.
Appreciate it.
You're gonna forget more things about kids ministry than a lot of us are ever gonna learn. So thank you so much for taking time just to open yourself up and spend time with us.
Thank you, Father. I appreciate you, man.
Of course. And we'll see you guys next week.